Hi, this is MEZA Grandduchess RASMASKONEN, 3706 Manor Road, apartment 224027400156. The 30th of April 2014, on my computer it says 9:53 a.m. My cell phone T-Mobile, it's 12:58 p.m. I don't know, I keep it that way. I want to say something about faith, being victorious in your life, self-actualization, and being patient to understand your innocence, or being patient to understand your limitations, and to understand your relationships. I wrote something yesterday. I stopped praying for 24 hours during my season. It's an observance I'm going through, and so forth, for one reason. Very peculiar incident happened, and I'm not going to talk about it. I wanted to live itself for the truth that it is. All right. And I wrote something. Imagine the image is the inside, never seen or lived. Would you insist to be included or relieved, to be relived and excluded? We always go through this passionate, I'm living a first life, I'm living a second life, I'm doing this. But maybe if you are reliving something, it's something that you haven't requited before. I'm going to go back to talking about career. I was talking to my taxi driver yesterday, Dan, and he said to me, X, Y, and Z, why wouldn't you work at Walter Reed? I said, why would I go back and work as a nurse in Walter Reed when I was assaulted and drugged with palladium and all of that stuff in Korea by those Army Nurse Corps whores? One day I never couldn't find anywhere to live. You know, they blackballed me, so I couldn't. They kicked me out of Dragonel Lodge, said that I couldn't stay there, and I never had anywhere to live, and the leadership did nothing, absolutely nothing. Anyway, I was living in the Hilton Hotel, I remember, in Korea, and this is how widespread everything happened to me. I walked into a private room, and there sitting was Hillary Clinton and Dick Cheney, and she said, and I sat behind the column, and here Dick Cheney said, well, Savini already drugged him with so much palladium and gave him a relief, whatever, from thing there, and said he did a terrible job. Savini only came to Daegu in like October or something like November, and I was already there since September, so she couldn't have write an OER and something, but you know how these bitches do, these evil bitches do, Bailey and Savini. And so she wrote the worst one. The IG wouldn't take the complaint, no one. So they sent me on to Youngsang instead of sending me home, regardless of what they thought was wrong or not. Savini was coming from Killeen, Texas, I remember. And he said, well, Savini already drugged him with so much. What all they have to do is drug him with so much more, and then violence, and what's that army prison called Fort Leonard Wood. And Hillary said, well, that sounds like a good plan. If you just aggravate him enough and send him on to Fort Leonard Wood. It wasn't the first time. It's the first time I hear it behind the scenes. So what I did, I got up and I walked in my uniform and said, hi, good morning, how are you? And I smiled right in front of their faces, Dick Cheney and Hillary Clinton. Then I went to take something from the breakfast bar and sat with somebody said, this is a private room, it's not for everyone. And I said, oh. And he said, well, you know, this morning you can sit here. And I sat there. So I've come through all of them. Hillary Clinton, I sat in the hot sauna with Joe Biden and so forth. So you must know that criminals are criminals. You must imagine yourself. You know what I mean? What are the expectations of yourself? What are the projections? What do you hope to achieve? And when all of these things are swirling around you, what do you do? I certainly never act paranoid or in fear. Would never do that. The spirit that I believe in would never allow me to do that. The spirit of love that enfolds me and has kept me through all this drama never allowed me to react to them. Because when I reached London and I met the guy I believe he's Gaddafi's, he was Gaddafi's son, he told me there was a contract on your life. You don't go back to America. And not for fear, because it was so extensive. I tried not to come back here. I really didn't. Let you keep your glory, your army, and so forth. But you know what? As I said, in my lowest point, when an angel came to me and said, I want you to bear witness to the evil of these people. And that I have bearing witness to it ever since. Whether people say God is not an evil thing, but if God sends the angel of death to protect you, you are protected because you are loved by God. If God sends the angel of revenge to ask you what favor do you want via something else, then you are avenged by God. And so you must trust these things. You must trust yourself. You must, I do not, as I said, I wrote something earlier. You have to trust. Before you were born as a child, you trusted your parents, whether they love you or not, to feed you. When you grew up, you found out if you were loved or you trusted them. And if nothing, then you went on your way. So which one comes first, love or trust? And if you found out patiently and you waited and grew up and realized that you were a disposable human being, imagine having a heart attack and Diane Deal, Major Comer, Gabriel Fabroni, and all of these screaming at you. I had a heart attack, they drugged me, and still no medical leave. 2 days in the ER and back at work. Dereliction of duty because you couldn't perform. Because tell me one person with a heart attack and a stroke, my face being heavy, my arm still aches and so weak, and my left side so still weak and still ache. You tell me, who would keep a person like that on duty? Not for lack of begging them. So you tell me where the criminality is. You see, it's a wide-scale criminal. I said I call them murderers, and I will never stop it. And take it or leave it, black people. You can be a part of them, but have it in the back of your mind. When push comes to shove, you are disposable. You're not a rich black person. You're not one of them. But I witness to tell you, MEZA Grandduchess Rasmaskone, renamed Ryan Keats and Christopher Tomlinson, I live the hatred of them, the disgust part of them. They disgust me from top to bottom, even to the White House. And I could never even, I do not, yes, I would not associate myself, because criminals needs to be where they are, behind bars. Have a good day. That's all I can say. Remember, you are created out of love, from dust. You are placed in the arms of children, in the arms of parents, for trust. And remember, the infinite thread of love is the love of to which you were made, infinity. And if that infinite love, if you hope and you're honest and you trust, then it will not fail you ever. It has never failed me. My mother, father, sister. People used to say my father was an evil person. But in the end, when I needed him most, whether you believe in ghosts or not, his spirit was a spirit of salvation, a spirit of rescue. So the good mother that still lives on earth, or the evil father that died, who loves, who trusts? Thurgood Marshall that died and I had a vision, and X, Y, and Z. Martin Luther King, who says, if one person suffers an injustice, we all suffer injustice. What do you choose? Have a good day.